Hello guys, good evening, this is Ruby here. As the title of the show says, I just want to teach a couple of techniques that might be helpful, and one I think I might have discovered, and then I just want to have a quick chat about gamers with depression. So here's a technique, quick and simple. So first of all, you get your prime voxel and you just lift it up in the air a little bit, and once you've got it there, we're going to select it. I'm going to smooth it into a microvoxel. We'll do 3 smooths for this. And what the technique I kind of think I've discovered is deleting air around the voxel to make it stretch. And a lot of people would normally think that the easiest way to stretch this voxel out into a shape is by putting another microvoxel into the adjacent square, which it does, it works, it's absolutely fine. But this technique does it a little bit tidier, in my opinion. So if, for example, I stretch this out on the diagonal, what happens is you get the microvoxel, which is fine, you can just delete that, but your shape actually goes out of the one voxel cube, so you're left with some deformation, which is known as the roaming vectors, and you can get some interesting shapes from that. But with this technique, what we'll get is a lot cleaner shape. So what I do is just drag the selection box one voxel behind, take my delete tool and delete the space, and it drags the microvoxel shape to the corner of the box. And as you see, if I select it, it fills the prime voxel cube perfectly, and it doesn't go outside of the edge. And I'm sure there's loads of people with a lot more talent with voxels than I have that can sort of take this and run with it and make some cool shapes. All I've discovered for now is this sort of simple, what I'm calling sort of an origami bird technique. And not all of the voxels around it will actually warp. So we've only got one on that, but here's another one I made earlier, which is a simple one voxel shape, and it fits completely within that voxel cube. Okay, another quick thing, there's a few things I wanted to teach you. I had a few guildies over building the other day, and there's a few techniques that I take for granted that I just use every day that some people might not. So we've got this microvoxel shape. Let's just copy it and make it a little bit bigger for everyone to see. But what we want from this shape is the ability to make it merge with the floor without warping. So currently, if we put it in the floor, it'll either have to go through the floor or go above the floor, and it'll suck the floor up to it like this. And you can see where I've selected above, the selection tool shows how much ground is actually raised from that shape. So with this technique, it's something that I learned from Schrödinger cat, and it's quite simple. You take your shape and just paste it 4 times in a row with a gap in between each one. We'll just ignore the fact that I've messed up some earlier work. And you get your line tool on single voxel, move it across the bottom, and move it across the bottom, and move it across the bottom. So do this 3 to 5 times, and what you'll see is it's stretching the voxel shape out. It's keeping the majority of its shape. It has stretched it a little bit bigger than it was, but the rest of the shape is still intact. And then you can select that, copy it, and you can paste it directly onto the ground. And when you select the ground underneath, it's perfectly smooth, unlike this one over here, which was pulling up the ground a bit. So that's a really quick, nice technique which helps with that. Another cool little thing that I use all the time and don't talk about quite enough, hello, how are you, is a corner technique, which I learned from Tenma's stair building guide, and it's something that I use all the time. And it's a 90-degree corner, so you can use it on the side of buildings, stair handrails, but it just makes all those square corners that you've got on your claim look a little bit softer and a little bit less Minecrafty. So I select this shape, which is basically a corner piece with the one offset voxel that's stepped in here, and it looks like a little M. I select it and I copy it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. I take a selection of the middle 5 shapes, leaving the top and bottom on so it doesn't disappear. I smooth it 1, 2, 3 times. I then select the middle area. I copy it out, and just to tidy it up, I put a prime voxel on each end, and then I delete that prime voxel, and it just cleans up the whole corner. And with this, you can make a really nice corner to a building, which goes at perfect 90 degrees, so you can connect your walls to that. You can bring it into the floor, so we'll paste without air, and this is one of my favourite techniques with it. You can make some quite simple but nice floor inlays. And just to tie in with this, making a very quick microvoxel string, take your prime voxel 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times, copy that, we'll smooth it down, sorry, the middle 5 sections we'll select, smooth it down, and we'll take the middle voxel, so that's a really quick microvoxel string there, and then we bring this to the corners, the centre pieces, and just place it into the ground. And we've got a really quick, simple star made from your shape there. So cool. I hope you guys can play with those techniques, and there's some fun things. If there's any questions, you can email me or whisper me in game Wooby, and I'll help out as much as I can. If that technique with the deleted air around the voxel is new, I'm going to call it the deleted air technique and be cool. So that ties up the guide part.